This is your Weather Xtreme video for Saturday, January the 9th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and it's another cold one, and it looks like the cold's going to just keep rolling along, but there is some light at the end of the tunnel. How about this shot of Mount Cheeha this morning? And it looks like there's something on the road there in the shadows, maybe some snow or some ice that's still existing up there, and they're very chilly this morning. Now head south, and they're still pretty chilly down at Mobile. They're below freezing, around 25 or so. And then something sort of in between. How about a look at the river from Demopolis Skycam? And certainly a chilly morning out there this morning. We have clouds across the southern third of the state and some clouds in the northern part of the state that are producing some snow flurries, and I suspect we'll see a few of those during the day today, but nothing of any significance. But the air is just so cold, it'll squeeze any moisture out. The culprit in the cold has been this long wave trough over the eastern half of the country, and we can see that there's another shot of cold air kind of rotating around this closed low as it rotates through the lower Mississippi River Valley. And, of course, we know that it is cold. Look at those minus 20 values up there in Dakota, North and South Dakota. And Wisconsin and Iowa and Nebraska, just very, very chilly up there. And last week I was talking about the 32-degree line. It looks like only the West Coast and the southern two-thirds of the Florida Peninsula are actually above freezing this morning. We're much below freezing, with most values in the range at airports from about 14 to 18 or so. And we're certainly getting a few snow flurries across the northern part of the state. Now, the snow flurries are too light to show up on radar, so we're just not seeing them there. And the watch warning map is a little light this morning, and that's good. We're glad to see that. We still have a few advisories in the Appalachians and up in the northwest part of the United States. QPF-wise, I think the QPF map pretty well tells the story for us for this next week. Dry, cold for the next several days, but it looks like by midweek we could be back to something more typical for the middle of January. This is the 06Z GFS model run, 1040 high over, let's see, what is that? Northwestern Missouri and southwestern Iowa is influencing us. You can see the 540 line, the cold air, all the way down into the northern Gulf of Mexico. Not much changes as the high settles in, but it does weaken just a little bit, but still the cold air is firmly in place across the southeastern United States. In the upper atmosphere, here comes another shot, although the ridge is finally pushing to the east. Here comes another little shot of cold air on Monday. That one's not quite as strong, and we're beginning to see moderation. The high weakens a little bit. The high situated over about New Orleans. Not much changes as the high meanders around the central U.S., situated over or a little south of St. Louis on Tuesday. By Wednesday, we are under a ridge, and with that, we should see some warming, and the high settles back in over the southeastern U.S., and that should bring us back. Notice the 540 line now way up into the Great Lakes area and into southern Canada, and that should give us a nice warming trend. On Thursday, here comes our next shot at some precipitation, and that shot coming out of the southwest, a pretty deep system. Excuse me, a pretty deep system too. On Friday, that system begins to come across northern Mexico, and that should help to generate a low in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, it looks like we'll stay dry through Thursday and maybe even for much of Friday with clouds increasing, but it does look like by Saturday we could see the presence of that system. Excuse me again. That system get close enough that we'll see some rain. Looks like it will be a rain system as the low stays primarily in the northern Gulf of Mexico along the Gulf Coast or just off the Gulf Coast. Now, we do see some effects. Now, this is verging into voodoo. This is Sunday the 17th, a week from tomorrow. It does look like there is a possibility that the cold air, there'll be enough moisture to produce some snow after the system has gone by. These are not typically big events, so we'll be watching for that evolution and see how that does. But this is verging into voodoo, so not a forecast, just an observation that we could see some snow flurries once again around the 17th. All right, out into voodoo. We have a pretty strong ridge by the 21st, which should keep us fairly high and dry and back towards something more typical for this kind of year. And then on the 24th, another weather system coming our way that could produce another round of wet weather. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Weather Xtreme video this morning. I certainly hope that you have a great Saturday. And I'm going to be out and about myself, heading over towards the summit for a meeting of the Alabama Storytelling Association. That'll be occurring today. This is one of our quarterly meetings. So I hope that you have a great day. Stay warm with all this cold weather. And by all means, please do not let your children or any young people get out on any of these frozen ponds or streams. That can be quite dangerous. Well, I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Saturday and Godspeed.
Each day there are new stories to tell about the people who live here and the place we call home.
All of the faces that I see, all of the places close to me, they're all part of all the best things about home.
Sharing your stories on ABC 3340, Alabama's news leader.